Good morning, everybody. This is Bishop with you on today. I know it's early, um, but I just wanted to check in on you all. Want to see how you all were doing. Been up since around 4 o'clock this morning, just praying for people and thinking about people. And can I tell you that I know what you're going through? I feel you in my spirit this morning. And I just want you to know that you're being heard. You're being heard. Um, keep holding on. If nobody has called you or nobody's checking on you, um, I want you to know that that's why I'm here early this morning. I prayed for you, and you're right. I don't know what I really don't know what you're going through, but I do know that we are all going through something, or coming out of something. But can I tell you that God has not forgotten you? Can I tell you that when I told you that I was your friend, that's exactly who I am, and that's exactly what I mean, through the good and through the bad. I never liked fair weather friends. I don't do friend stipulations, and here's the reason why. If I can hang out with you when you're standing up, then I'm not going to leave you when you fall down. Yes, you might have to suffer some consequences for the sins that you committed, but nevertheless, I'm not going to turn against you just because. I've never been that type of brother. I've never been that type of brother. And I know that you're hurt. I know that you've been neglected. I know that you've been overlooked. And I know that, matter of fact, you've been alienated. But can I tell you that regardless of what people think, this person, this preacher, this brother will never be influenced to hate on, to desert, to leave anybody, just because other people do. And I wanted you to know this morning early, before I get service started at 11 today, that I'm not that pastor. I'm not that person. There's a lot that I disagree with. And so I allow people to distance themselves from me, because I know how manipulative people can be. I know how nasty they can be. And when you are overlooked, it makes you feel some type of way. When people assume that you're not good enough, or you're not my type, or you're not for me. Here's the thing. I think a lot of times they're overlooking what you have to offer because they're so used to a certain type of person. They're so used to being around certain types of people. And can I tell you that a lot of times it's not your type that can make an appeal to your soul. It's really not. And I think oftentimes we overlook, or we write people off based on assumptions, instead of actually hearing a person. We listen to what people say, but we never take them serious. Good morning, darling. How you doing? We never take them seriously. And the reason we don't is because a lot of times, brothers and sisters, we suffer from our own insecurity. We suffer from our own insecurity. When a person is insecure or has been hurt or scorned by a situation or by a relationship, period, uh, they tend to be withdrawn. They tend to be skeptical of anybody that could possibly love them the right way. And I say the right way because not everybody that love you know how to love you. Not everybody that say they care about you knows the kind of care that you need. And so for me, I always tell anybody, before you can love a person, you have to learn that person. And you have to learn that person not only by hearing them, but listening to what they don't say, listening to how they uh, portray themselves. You know, there's a whole lot of people that have great conversation, but they have no character. And so I always listen and look to see exactly what they're not telling me, so I'll know exactly what to look for. That's why I encourage you today to realize that you are worth it. Yeah, you are. Um, it's hard to have or to find real love anymore. It's hard when a person refuses you or rejects you on the basis that they feel like you're not for them. And the reason why a lot of us feel that way, okay, a lot of people feel that way is because when you have been in a relationship or when you have been around people where everything was forced, you tend to refrain from making those same mistakes. But can I tell you exactly what true love is? True love, even before you can be a lover, you have to be a great friend, okay? But true love is taking the chance on getting hurt again by accepting somebody into your life or into the position that hurt you. And a lot of times we have difficulties accepting people into our lives because we don't want to go through that again. And so what happens, we build walls that shuts us off from the completeness of what love is supposed to provide. We shut ourselves off from hurt. We shut ourselves off, and we don't really realize that the walls that we have built is not only keeping people out, but it's keeping us in. And you have to be open-minded in order to understand the person that wants to love you, that wants to help you, that wants to treat you right. And so often you're so used to not getting that attention or being paid attention to, that you have digressed into a state of mind to where you no longer care. Uh, don't get so set in your ways that you set yourself up for failure. Don't do that. It doesn't matter what you've done. We're going to have to learn how to stop operating in feelings and start walking in faith. The Bible tells us that we walk by faith and not by sight. But a lot of times, and so many of us are walking by sight because what we've seen has affected how we feel. And we don't want to acknowledge that, but a lot of times we have our own prejudices, we have our own racism, we have our own insecurities. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We have our own insecurities about people and about things. And could it be possible? And we're just talking this morning. We're just talking. I'm just wanting to check on you all. Could it be possible that a lot of your hurt comes from a place where you have forgotten who you are? A lot of times we look for love in all the wrong places, or we're looking for people to understand us, and we don't even understand us. And so it would be difficult for me to try to help anybody when I can't help myself. It would be difficult. And so we often resort to the excuse of, well, I'm healing. Well, let me ask you, how long did it take to get hurt? We're all healing. Now for me, that's an excuse. I'm healing. Okay, I understand that. But don't let the pain of the past cause you to miss out on the fruits of the future. I think we try to talk ourselves out of situations that are meant for us. Because you've been hurt by one person doesn't mean that everybody's out to get you or everybody's out to hurt you. There are people that you need to stay away from. There are situations that you need to stay out of. But at the same time, what you need to do, you were created for love. Who told you that you didn't deserve to be loved? And see, here's the problem. A lot of us have settled for just being liked and not being loved. Why? Because people that you thought could love you have no idea of how to give love. When you have no idea of how to give love, then you won't even know how to receive love, because not everybody can love you the same way. Not everybody needs to love you the same way, because regardless of who you are, you have a different type of need. Brothers and sisters, you're not so strong that you don't need love. A lot of people say, I'm good by myself. I'm good doing this. I'm good. But they come from a standpoint to where they're tired. They're tired of being hurt. They're tired of being hindered. They're tired of having to raise people. And so often we say, well, we're not going to teach anybody else. We're too grown to have to teach people. And I agree. But at the same time, you have to recognize what have you been taught? What did life teach you? How many times do we allow our pride to become our problem? There are moments when you just need to stop talking and allow yourself to be talked to, not talked at, but talked to. We find ourselves in trouble when we put the burden of leadership on a person that doesn't know how to lead. And so we get assumptions, and we have assumptions, and a lot of us, especially us men, we've been taught to, well, you're supposed to lead, you're not supposed to cry, you're not supposed to this, you're not supposed to that. But brothers and sisters, let me remind you that men have feelings too. A man needs to be respected as much as a woman does. How can you expect a man to respect you when you refuse to respect him? How do you expect a man to even hear you when you won't listen to anybody but yourself? And so I think we have this big misconception that we're putting stipulations on how to be a man. Well, if you was doing this, and you're not a man if you're not doing this. You're not a man if you're not. Well, you know what we need to understand, that in order to have a good man, you need to be a good woman, and not just a girl. All right. There's a lot of women that are grown women but still have the mentality or act like young girls. You're not a teenager anymore. You keep allowing outside interference to play a role in the uh, growth and development of your relationship. And so you get angry at men when they don't listen to you. The first thing you're ready to do is pout, cry, and run away, when actually, brothers and sisters, uh, you're not hearing him either. And I find that even in the church, see, church people can be nosy. Stop letting church people tell you how to handle what's going on in your home. There's a difference in your house and the church house. Stop bringing your problems to nosy people, because the same hell that you're having in your home, some of them people are having in the church as well. And so a lot of the hell that's coming to your home is due to the fact that you have brought your business to demons that are in the church that hasn't changed, and they all they do is see a one-sided situation that they can talk about. So this is the reason why I find it necessary. uh and you know, there's going to be people that disagree with you. There's going to be people that get upset because, again, they're so set in their ways that they can only see themselves. uh and the problem with that is you become a legend in your own mind. You believe that nobody can tell you anything. You believe that everybody's jealous of you. You believe that you have arrived. You believe that you are flawless rather, excuse me, when actually you're nothing more than foolish. You tend to want to talk a lot, but you're not teachable. You tend to want to walk everywhere, but you have no idea where you're going. You tend to want to tell everybody else how to handle their situations, but you have no idea how to handle yours. So it's amazing to me how often we claim to be grown, and yet we graduate back to adolescent years or teenage years with with our thought processes. You must understand that when we are talking, we have to realize that we need to learn how to talk to people and not talk at them. Because when somebody starts talking at me, I tend to shut down and not hear anything else that they have to say. Why? Because I no longer find their speech relevant. The reason for that is because you're not going to get on my nerves just running your mouth just to hear yourself talk because you think that you have some experience in being an idiot. Well, I've had that same experience. I don't need anybody to teach me how to do wrong. I can do wrong by myself. As a matter of fact, wrong comes natural to me. That's who I was. I was born in sin and shaped in iniquity, and I haven't forgotten where I come from. I just don't want to go back there. And so what I do, I continue to grow and develop, even if I have to grow and develop by myself. Now, brothers and sisters, you need to learn how to make an effort. Now, if you're going to make an effort to be in somebody's life and they reject your efforts, stop begging people to belittle you. Stop begging people to include you. Stop begging people to love you. Stop begging people to like you. It's simply uncivilized to put yourself in a situation that does not want to include you. There are some folks that are cool with being a fool. There are some folks that enjoy being mistreated because they consider that love. Well, I don't. And here's the thing. I'm never going to encourage anybody to stay or go in their relationship. But what I need you to understand, when a person can no longer relate to you, then how do you expect yourself to develop? How do you expect yourself to function when what used to function has now become a failure to you or a fool to you? If they no longer want you, then why are you forcing yourself to hold on to something that's already turned you a lose? I never quite understood that. I'm not going to stay anywhere just because there's a room there. I'm not going to stay anywhere just because they have a little more than me. Because when you start taking me for granted, that's when I'm ready to walk out for good. Please understand, God did not create you. Excuse me. God did not create you to be mistreated. God did not create you to be beat on, hurt, left, mistreated, dogged out, or even talked about. And I see so many people that pretend, and you've been pretending for years, y'all. There's somebody I'm talking to this morning. You've been pretending to be happy in your relationship while you was laying right next to the person that you hated the most. You have laid right next to your enemy, knowing full well that this was a mistake, and yet you stayed because of the cheering. You stayed because the church wanted you to stay. You stayed because, well, the Bible says for better or for worse and blah, 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 blah. Well, first of all, brothers and sisters, where you made your mistake was, if God did not send that person anyway, then your flesh picked them. And sometimes your flesh picks, your flesh picks will send you into flashbacks. Somebody should catch that. Your flesh picks will send you into flashbacks. Why? Because God did not sanction them. You did. God did not sanction them. Satan just sent them, and they caught your attention because they made an appeal to your flesh. And you haven't felt like this in a long time, and you haven't felt hands on you. You hadn't felt somebody really considering your heart, and Satan said exactly what you wanted to hear. And so when you fell privy to the idea that there could possibly be love when it was actually nothing more than lust, when you decided to say I do when you should have said I don't. Now the problem is, now before you go and tell somebody, well, Bishop told me to divorce, Bishop didn't tell you to do anything. Bishop is trying to get you to consider yourself. See, before you can love anybody, you have to love yourself. Before anybody can love you, they have to love themselves. There's a whole lot of people that just liked being around you because they didn't love themselves. But they love the idea of being around you because you have become a benefit. And so when you are around a person, or they're around you, and you cause them to forget their problems, well, see, the problems didn't forget them. And so I find that we stay in unstable situations because we're trying to build tables out of materials that's not going to last. You're trying to build a house out of sticks. And so when the elements begin to actually proceed, when the winds blow, when the rain falls, the house falls down. Why? Because it's not made out of anything. You don't have a solid foundation. You have an unstable situation, y'all. And so you trying to say, well, they're not my type, or I don't see myself with anybody like that. Well, here's the reason why you can't see yourself with anybody like that, is because you're not like that. You're really not who you say you are either. You have been messed up so much that you have forgotten. You have built a character, or you formed a character trait in your mind that will not allow you to be loved by anybody but your ideas. It's sad when your ideas is all that you can feel. It's sad when you won't allow anybody, and so you settle. Now, a lot of people are upset because they have settled for stupidity, and because they don't want to be alone, or, well, I like being by myself. Okay, all right. But deep down in your conscious soul, you really don't. But you have to keep up that facade because you don't want anybody to think you're weak. You don't want anybody to feel like, well, I need somebody. Well, can I ask you a question? What's wrong with admitting that I need somebody? What's wrong with that? See, society has you single. They do. Humanity always has needed somebody. First of all, they need God. They really need God. Number two, if you were meant to be by yourself all the time, if you were meant not to care for yourself, when God created Adam, why did he create Eve then? If man didn't need anybody, why did God put Eve for Adam? Because the Bible says it's not good for man to be alone. Because when you're alone, that's when your mind starts to wander. That's when you really start to blame yourself. And here's the problem right there. You still carrying stuff. You still blaming yourself for things that you had no control over. Nobody's really talked to you about how you feel, have they? And you've been carrying stuff so long that everybody, including your family and your friends, your church, everybody thinks that you are the strong one of the bunch. And so you've never had time to grieve. You've never had time to breathe. You've never had time to leave. All you do is allow folks to bring their stuff to you, and they expect you to carry the brunt of the hit. So they don't have to, because you don't know how to say no. You don't know how to tell people I have my own problems. And so when you stop listening, can I tell you, I have friends that have distanced themselves from me simply because of the stuff that they're going through. Well, I just don't want to talk right now. I just don't want to be. Do you not realize that that's Satan keeping you from getting the help that you need? Because you have it in your twisted little mind that you are able to carry everything by yourself on your own. And because you have done that, no wonder you're having nervous breakdowns. No wonder you're taking pills because you can't sleep. No wonder you're having all of these ailments. Your body is going through changes because you will not let God take charge. You have been carrying way too much. I'm just checking on y'all this morning. You've been carrying so much stuff that you have made yourself unstable, and because you think that that's the way of the Lord, that you continue. Why? The Bible says, why should a man die before his time? You're going to be dead before you get delivered. Why? Because you're carrying too much stuff. You're carrying too much stuff. Let me tell you something. Regardless of where you are or who you are, when you get to a point that you continue to carry baggage, carrying baggage doesn't make you blessed. Because you have to get to a point in your life when you have to say, enough is enough. You know, a lot of people think that I'm mean. Good morning, Sister Watkins. People think that I'm mean because I don't really get into what the world would have me to get into. Expound. All right. I don't do what the people want me to do. I don't do what anybody tells me to do. Because the decisions that I make for the rest of my life are about me. You weren't there when I was being mistreated. You weren't there when I was being neglected. You weren't there when people were talking to me like trash. So a lot of the decisions that I make and a lot of the ways that I am, I've allowed life to build me, not break me. See, a lot of people can't handle folks that talk back because it destroys their ego. I never liked egotistical people. I never did. Egotistical people tend to be narcissistic and think that they have rule because of who they are or because of their gender that gives them the right to make you feel bad about who you are when they're not even who they are. And so their insecurities causes them to act foolish with you. Can I tell you, I'm not that man. I don't care how cute you are. You're not going to cuss me. I don't care what kind of shape you got. You're not going to put your hands on me. I don't care how much money you got. You're not going to mistreat me because everything that you have, I can get on my own. A lot of you are staying in relationships because people have more than you and you don't want to start over. And the fact that you are by you don't want to be by yourself, and some of you all need to be by yourself so God can rebuild you. Yeah. You've been struggling for a long time under false pretenses. When you met people, it was under false pretenses. No, Bishop, they wasn't always like that. They wasn't. Yes, they were. You just didn't pay attention because you was too busy making googly eyes at the people that you should have Googled. Hello? Yeah. See, as the church has forgotten, instead of church trying to play matchmaker, they need to teach you the message. Instead of the church telling you, y'all look good together. Can I tell you, there's a whole lot of demons that look good. There's a whole lot of demons that I dated that I never should have, that I had to get delivered from. Yeah. Why? Because they was messed up before they confessed up. You don't know what type of person anybody is. Can I tell y'all, it doesn't matter how long you've known a person, you still don't know that person. There's things about them that you will never know unless God shows them to you. And it doesn't matter how old you are, because brothers and sisters, there's been some old fools to make young mistakes. And we have gotten to a point to where we're trying to be so politically correct. We're trying to be so holy. We're trying to just, I just don't want this. And no, baby, let me see. Here's the thing with me. Oh, I'm saved. I'm saved, but sometimes you got to get hood with hoodlums. You got to get hood, and you got to tell truth even when the truth don't sound good. See, sometimes, brothers and sisters, y'all's problem is you've been too nice to demons. You've been too nice to devils. You need to tell the devil go to hell. I forgot that you're holy. Okay, all right. I know that Satan has you scared, and Satan has you confused. So let me tell you how to deal with the devil. See, the Bible says resist the devil and he'll flee from you. Well, when you stop giving in, they'll start giving up. Hello, because see, as long as they think that you need them, they're going to treat you any type of way. As long as people think that they can control you by trying to withhold things from you. Oh, Bishop, now you're meddling. Well, here's the thing. They think because that they have the money or they're in control of the bank accounts that, well, if I freeze this account, if I do this or if I do that, you're going to stay because you can't function. Baby, can I tell you, I can function without you. I was living before I met you, and I will continue to live after you're gone. I'm that brother. Yes, I am. You have to get to that point to where you say, I've never been so dependent that I couldn't depend on myself. And so if they not God, then why are you giving them godly attributes? If they're not God, why are you still bowing to people that don't even believe God? Why are you still? See, that's the thing. Sometimes we let people use us and abuse us so they won't accuse us. Baby, I could care less what any man, woman, boy, and girl thinks about this brother right here. Why? Because I went through the hell by myself. I got up by myself. I dusted myself off by myself when I was put out of houses. Hello, yes, Bishop's been put out. I've had some crazy females flatten my tires and try to tear up my vehicles, and I've been through some stupid stuff with some stupid people. But guess what? It never made me stutter. They didn't break my heart. They made me mad. I had to walk away, not because I was scared, but because I didn't want to end up in prison for the rest of my life. And so, brothers and sisters, there's sometimes you just have to walk away because it's the right thing to do at the right time to do it. And if you overstay your season, you will find yourself stuttering to yourself, talking to yourself, wishing I should have made this move a long time ago. But you still stuck in silence because you don't understand just how important your life is to you. Nobody's ever going to think that you're as important as you think about yourself. And it's not selfish for you to want better for yourself. Can I tell you, there are some of y'all that's married right now that you're still miserable, been miserable for years. But you stayed not because you love the person. You stayed because you was afraid to leave them. You were afraid that there would not be. It took me so long to learn how to love this person. And I'm not trying to learn to love nobody else. Well, here's the problem. You ain't even learned to love yourself yet. You didn't love them when you met. You wasn't, matter of fact, you didn't love yourself when you met them. Satan heard you say something. And as times went by, you learned how to handle private situations. You learned how to handle the mistreatment. You adapted to their abuse. Is what you did. You became comfortable with the chaos. And so when somebody else challenges the fact that you could think differently, you started to defend the ones that was hurting you instead of trying to help the one that wanted to help you. And it's funny to me how we so often keep holding on to people that love to hurt us. You're in situations, you're not getting any better. Your household is in disarray. You're taking on more burdens, and you're becoming badgered instead of blessed, and yet you refuse. Now, what's really strange to me is how a person that is hurt will distance themselves from help more so than they distance themselves from the hurt. Your hurt. Now, this is how a lot of people were raised. Now, this is the reason why I tell you all. You remember the saying, what happens in the house stays in the house. You grew up with that. Can I tell y'all? You've been cheated on. You've been talked about. You've been made a fool of. There's some of y'all right now. Your husband done went and talked about you to everybody, to his buddies, to his mistress, to everybody else, and vice versa. Women, yeah, you went out and you talked about how no good your man was, and you talked about this, that, and now. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. You still there. You still there. And you get offended when somebody tells you the truth about a relationship that you talked about. Now, you can't get mad at somebody when somebody says, well, he ain't a fool if he can go do whatever he want to do, mistreat you, and you still let him back at the house. You still, well, I'm not going to keep him from, I'm not going to keep him from seeing his children. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going. They baby mama. Well, can I tell you, brothers? There's as many deadbeat mothers as it is deadbeat dads, and what's funny to me is how you say you're not. If for me, let me tell you about me. If my daughter's mother was a crackhead, she ain't seeing my daughter. Because there's nothing that she can teach her except how to be a hoe and a crackhead. I'm not going to lie to my children and pretend that their parents were such great people when I know darn good and well that they weren't. Hello? All right. Just because a person is a good provider doesn't mean that they are good people. You don't want to see things for what they are. That's what your problem is. You're so used to trying to see the good side of a bad situation that you have gotten away from what really matters. You no longer matter in your own mind. And so you get mad at anybody that makes you see you for who you really are. You get mad at people because they tell you, well, who's the bigger fool, you or them? Do you like being a fool? Do you like being mad all the time? Do you like? It's funny how the people that's causing your hell or causing your house to be in disarray, they don't have high blood pressure. You do. They're not on Ritalin. They're not taking Xanaxes. You are. My question is, how long are you going to be miserable before you really understand just how much you've messed up? How far do you have to fall before you realize this has failed? How far do you have to go? How much do you have to be spiritually beaten down before you realize you need to be picked up? And so when God sends somebody into your life that can change your situation, you refuse them because everybody says, well, you know, that ain't right. That's not right. That's not the person for you. Well, the one you married to ain't the one for you. The one you dating is not the one for you, but you took a chance on them. So what's funny is you taking a whole lot of chances, but you bringing up, they're costing you more charges. You got a credit card bill that you didn't make. They did. and so their pride has become your problem because now you proud. How can you be proud of somebody that has mistreated you? Don't introduce me to somebody that is a woman beater. Don't introduce me to anybody that is a liar. Don't introduce me to somebody you done come home and caught them in the bed with somebody else. Don't introduce me to somebody that left you for the same sex that you are. What do you mean? See, brothers and sisters, we don't want to talk about that because y'all too churchy. Y'all too churchy. The church, the building has y'all confused about who Christ really is. See, the Bible says the man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. Well, now let's understand. Let's determine that. Well, let's talk about. Let's get the definition of that word find. See, a lot of times you don't even have to be looking to find something. Everything that's found wasn't lost. They were just preserved. I have socks here. I have clothes that I run across. Oh, well, I found my shirt. Well, it wasn't lost. I had just put it back. See, a lot of times, brothers and sisters, the people that you think are prepared, that you're prepared for, are not prepared for you. They never were. Satan will tell you that you are prepared for love when you really are not. You haven't received it. And I'm not saying for everybody. Not everybody can accept this, and that's okay. But can I tell you, there are some of you all that made choices that brought changes, but the changes weren't good. They brought you down more than they built you up. And so you get angry at people and you're scared to make choices. You're scared to take chances. See, I'm a chance taker. I take chances because I've already made some mistakes in my life. And can I tell y'all, can y'all stop being so superficial and talking about, well, they're not cute. They're not this. They're not. I've seen some of the sexiest demons destroy some of the ugliest hearts. And they have the ugliest hearts. You can be sexy and still be stupid. And that's a problem for me. That's a major problem for me because a lot of people think that they have arrived. You fell in love with athletes. You fell in love with abilities. But the problem is they didn't have the ability to love you. They just have they had the ability to sleep with you. And you gave them that permission. You gave them that security because that's what you're used to. You gave them, when you don't think enough of yourself, nobody else will either. People will treat you how you see you. Hey, Stacy, how you doing this morning, darling? People will treat you how you see you. Now, people think that I'm cocky, but brothers and sisters, I was never anybody's choice. Can I tell you, I was always ugly. I was ugly in school. I didn't have much in school. I was never considered anybody or anything simply because of situations that took place in my life or a lot of people blame me for things that my parent did. I was never the chosen one. I was never popular. You know, there are those people that are just out there, and then those people that are wasn't. Well, I was always in church. I really never got in trouble. I was not a bad individual at all. But I just never got picked. I got picked on, but I never got picked. But I learned early who I was going to be and who I didn't want to be. I thank God that He allowed me to see just how degrading popularity can be. Being popular is a problem. Hey, and here's the thing. Being popular caused people a lot of problems because they had to live up standards that they weren't ready to live up to. You know, losing your virginity to show that you were valuable, to me, made people vulnerable. I'm glad that people turn me down. I'm glad that people say you don't got enough money for me. I'm glad, well, you don't look good enough for me. I'm glad because here's the thing. What God was doing for me was protecting the anointing that would bless me later. I'm grateful that nobody gravitated to me because I've got one daughter and she's 33 years old. One, I never had to pay child support. I never had to do those things. And you know, the great thing about my life is that I can live it without anybody's permission. I can live it. I could care less what the church thinks about me or who they think I am. See, when people don't know you and don't want to give you a chance, then normally it's because they haven't changed either. You still have people that actually believe that you owe them something when the only thing I'm going to give you is a hand wave as I pass you by. Why? Because I outgrew you a long time ago. Excuse me. You have to learn how to outgrow some people so you can grow up. There's a lot of grown people that are not grown. There's a lot of folks that are in your face that are still thinking foolish. Baby, I don't care about what, you know, I laugh at people because they think they bother me. I got to care about you before you bother me. That's the reason I say what I say. There's a lot of you that can't say that because you get slapped in your mouth or you would end up by yourself. Can I tell you, I was born by myself. I was created by myself. So my life will never be predicated upon anybody's presence. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Now, either you're going to like it or you're going to leave it. But regardless, I'm still man enough to say what needs to be said. And I'm willing to suffer the consequences behind what I say. Because a lot of people will say, well, you got a smart mouth. No, I can tell you, I got a slick mouth. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But I know how to treat people. People think you have a slick mouth when you don't let them treat you stupid. I let people treat me stupid all my life. I let people in the church run over me. I let family run over me. It's when I got older and I started realizing I don't have to tolerate stupidity for you to treat me right. That's when people started getting mad at me. That's when people started leaving me alone. And when God called me to preach, because I didn't do it the way they thought it should be done, a lot of people don't deal with me today for that very reason. Well, if you're not going to follow protocol, baby, I don't follow protocol. I'm sorry, I don't, because anything that contradicts the word of God is not for me. Now, understand, brothers and sisters, I don't ask permission to do anything that doesn't include me. I don't want to be in your cliques. If you don't like me, it's because I don't want you to. I promise you it is. Because I don't give people reasons to hate me. I just let them be haters on their own. People love to hate who they choose not to help. All right? And so I don't have to compete. See, I've never been that preacher who would hurt somebody. Can I tell you? I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do, because I don't have a heaven or hell to put you in. But I am that preacher that if somebody sees me talking to you, don't worry, I'm not going to hide out just because, well, you know, they're my colleagues. If they see me talking to you, they might think something. I could care less, because we have too many people sitting in the church with dirty minds that has done more than you've done, and yet they're still behind the pulpit, yet they're still in the pew, yet they're still parishioners. And so I don't give explanations. Why? Because I'm 52 years old and I don't have to. The only person I talk to is the Lord. If you cannot handle me at my worst, then you don't need to handle me at my best. As a matter of fact, before you come for me, you need to make sure this is what you want to handle. All right, because I'm that person. I'm that person. I'm very confident in who I am. Now, I wasn't always that. There was a time when I would just try to do. I wanted people to like me, and I would let people hurt me just so I could hang out with them, just so I could hang around. Then I said, "The hell with that! I'm not doing that anymore." What do you mean? I'm not doing that anymore. And then people said, "Well, you're not a preacher." I'm not your preacher. See, just because a lot of people have the title preacher doesn't mean they're God's people. Doesn't mean they're God's pastors. There's a whole lot of demons in the church that are not God's church. That's not God's church. It's just a good place to go to if you want to meet somebody, if you want to do whatever you want to do. See, I know people that are not used to having relationships. And I tell you, because when they get in a relationship, they stop talking, period. I've never been that way. I'm never going to be that way. I don't care if I'm in a relationship or not. If you say hi to me, if we've been friends, because first of all, there's not ever going to be anybody to tell me, I better not see you talking to them. I better not. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. My mama dead. Now, if you say, baby, I prefer you not be around them because I know them hoes. I know what they do. They try to ruin your reputation. That's a different story. The approach makes the difference in the response. But if you come trying to talk trash to me because that's the type of relationship you're used to, that's the type of person you're used to being. See, a lot of people cannot talk to you with love and respect because they've never had anybody talk to them that way. So they assume because I've been talked too rough, my mama treated me bad, my daddy, my husband, my ex-husband, my ex-wife, and blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm not any of those things. So when you come talk to me, yeah, you better talk to me like you got some sense because I will turn a deaf ear to you in a heartbeat. Do not ever consider anybody to be like the person that you left. Don't do that. A lot of people end up in bad situations or end up being by themselves because of their own ignorance and their own comparison. Don't compare me to another man. I'm not him. Don't compare me to what you used to be. Don't compare me because I'm not going to look at you for who you used to be. I could care less about rumor, gossip, and hearsay, brothers and sisters. I don't operate that way. And can I tell you, I love being the outsider. I'm not afraid because here's the thing. I've noticed in the latter years, and even when I was in school, I remember that if you weren't cute, the cute people couldn't talk to you because they were afraid of what everybody else was going to think or going to say. And I look at them now and I'm like, oh my gosh. As cute as you were still insecure and you had to lower your standards because nobody wanted you except for the sex. You didn't have sense. So all they wanted you for was the sex because you were cute and they could get you. And they know that you were so insecure and you had such low self-esteem that the only thing that was open was your legs. And that was all that you were good for. And so you weren't even considered because they knew that anybody could get you because you wanted to be with the captain of the football team. You wanted to be go to the prom with the basketball stars, and you wanted to be you really wanted to be in the clique, but you didn't count up the cost. And so, see, as we lay didn't work for me. No, baby, it didn't work for me because I just never wanted to fit in with the foolery. Because, brothers and sisters, the truth is, they always knew that you would amount to something. Look at who they settled for. Look at who they settled for. How many times have they been married? And then look at how they were treated during the relationship. Man, if you would just hear some of the calls that I have gotten from people that I went to school with, or people that I grew up with, or people that I know. What's sad is when you can't introduce your girl to anybody in your town because everybody been with her. Everybody knows her. What's funny is who you think you have and who you know you got. There's a big difference between that. See, there's a whole lot of people that try to that want to have standards now, but you didn't have them then. You want to hear something really funny? It's funny when you try to come at me with standards talking about what you're not going to tolerate after you done been used up. Your standards didn't keep you stable when you were in your teens, when you were in your 20s, when you was in your 30s. Your standards is the reason why you're scoring right now. You didn't have any. See, you were so used to, and so when somebody says, okay, well, I'm just going to release you back to what you're used to. You're used to drug dealers. You used to pimps. You used to somebody beating the hell out of you. You used to somebody calling you names. I'm talking about males and females. You're used to being cheated on. You used to being called a dog. So when you meet somebody that is not in that arena, that's a challenge for you because you've never had success at a relationship that actually could relate to you. You've only been comfortable in people that caused you chaos. You can take people out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of them unless they want to change it. There are some folks that you have to release back to what they're used to, or else they will abuse you. And that's even in the church. There's some folks that you married because they think that God sent you to them. God had blessed me with you. God, no, he didn't. Satan sent you what you wanted because your flesh was not under subjection. You have gotten to a place to where you no longer understand who you are. You're so messed up. Hey, Cynthia, how you doing, darling? You so upset about who you're not that you're not even trying to be who God created you to be. Why? Because you still feel like I've got to be connected. I've got to help them. I don't have to do anything that God did not tell me to do, and I'm not going to. The devil cannot tell me what God told him because God don't even talk to the devil about me. You keep on falling for the same fool. And as long as you fall for a fool, you will stay stuck in the foolish way. You cannot say, I've got good sense and let people keep you unstable. Baby, call me cocky. Call me crazy. Call me whatever it takes for you to keep yourself covered up. Most people have to belittle you so that you won't find out anything about them. They dress well, they've got money, and they're still miserable. Oh my gosh. You mean to tell me a poor little country boy like me, a bishop, can walk into a church and cause people that have more than me to be mad at me simply because, not because I have stuff, but because I have an anointing that they can't touch? See, brothers and sisters, let me tell you, just because a person is gifted doesn't mean that they are anointed. You can be appointed and still not be appreciated. Oh my God. You've been attending a building, but you never attended the church. Why? Because the church don't have God's attention. They just have attendance. And your attendees have no idea how to attend to you because they're too busy attending to other business that doesn't belong to them. And so this is the reason why I continue to say, when I check on you, I'm not meddling with you. But I'm just solid enough to be different. And sometimes, and I'll say it and I'll say it again, my different is sometimes other people's difficult. I don't ask permission to be me. And people who are not themselves won't know how to treat you because you're not getting the real them. You're getting the them that everybody else likes. And that's why you don't like yourself. You are so busy trying to be liked and trying to live up to the image that they created in their head about you that you don't even realize you're not even living up to your own standard anymore. You're not doing anything because you've been so used to saying yes when you should have said hell to the no. That's what you should have said. But you don't. So can Bishop tell you, I love you for who you are. Yes, I know you messed up. Yes, I know you crazy as hell. I get that. Well, Bishop, oh, hold on. Hell is crazy. Anytime you allow the devil to put you through changes when God is trying to change your heart, that's crazy as hell. Anytime you allow people to dictate to you who you're going to be, that's crazy as hell. Hell is a place of torment, and that's where you're living. You keep on pretending that everything is okay. I'm just going to tune them out. I'm not going to say nothing. You know what? That wears on you after a while. No wonder your head hurts. No wonder your blood is up. No wonder you having heart attacks. No wonder you having nervous breakdowns because you don't want to deal with nothing. You don't know how much peace you would have if you put people in their place and separate yourself from stupidity. You can be in the same room with a fool and they talking to themselves. After a while, it's going to start to get on your nerves. Imagine being locked in a room with somebody who talks 24 hours and you can't do anything but listen to it. They're not talking to you, or they might be and you're not listening. Everywhere you go, there they are. You sit down, they sit down next to you. Eventually, you would go insane because you would either, or you would get to the point where you say, can you just shut up? Can you not talk? The problem with that is you don't do it now. You don't know how to. You don't know how to recharge your life because somebody else is in charge of it. And you get mad at people like me because I can be happy. I can be happy in my life because I choose to be. I didn't ask you to pray for me. I didn't ask you to participate with me. I didn't ask. So before people try to put stipulations on you, see, what you need to remind them is, first of all, I didn't ask you to do anything for me. I don't have to have a conversation with you because, first of all, you don't know how to converse. If you can't cuss every breath, if you can't talk about what you want to talk about, then you don't want to be bothered. Well, baby, don't be bothered. It's not going to bother me that you don't want to be bothered with me. What bothers me is when you try to include me in mess that you already know that's going to bother me. If you know it's going to bug me, then why you do it? I don't reach out to certain people because, first of all, brothers and sisters, I feel like if you want to be bothered, you'll reach out to me. Then sometimes you have to cut people off because if you don't do you, then you're going to end up doing them. What do you mean, Bishop? There are some people that, hey, darling, how you all doing this morning? There are some of you all that give people too much of your time. They can't pray without you. They can't go to the bathroom without you. They can't eat without you. They can't do anything without you. Now, see, here's the problem with that. Now they're making you an idol. You ought to teach people how to live without you so you can live with you. You can't live with yourself because everybody else is living with you. You got people that's taking up free rent in your head, free space in your heart, and they taking over the control center of your mind. You have to learn how to shut the door on people to protect you from their ignorance. There was a lady who says, Bishop, sometimes you can't say everything to everybody. You know what? You're right. You can't say everything to everybody because not everybody's somebody. Oh, we've been taught everybody's somebody. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not anybody for you. See, anytime you have to lower your standard to a stutter because they can't stand, that means you have fallen down with them. Now, I understand people fall, but there's a difference between somebody who falls and somebody who trips. Some of y'all fell for some fools, and some of y'all are tripping over some. I don't trip. If I fall, it's because I can't stand up. I've got too much wisdom to fall for a fool that has failed me. You keep giving people too many chances when they've already shown you that they're never going to change. And you think that it's holy on your behalf to let people treat you hellish. Now, what kind of logic is that? Why am I going to keep giving you the invitation to treat me like trash when I'm trying to change my life? I'm trying to be better. You mad at me because I'm bettering me without you. Hello, some of y'all would have already been better, but you just settled for being blessed. I don't need to be blessed. I was blessed already. I was blessed before I met anybody. I need God's favor. I don't need Satan's fool. See, you have to get out of your comfort zone. You done got too comfortable with people that ain't cool with God. Oh, I'm very solid and I'm very outspoken. And see, I'm not going to take your mess just because I'm married to you. I'm not going to take your mess because, brothers and sisters, you remember the Sanford and Son episode where Sanford said, I didn't take nothing off my first wife. I ain't going to take nothing off you either. That's me, baby. I'm not taking no mouth. Oh, no, no, no. Here's the thing. If you can't communicate, then you need to keep going. See, I never liked a yes man or a yes woman. I never liked that. Because what happens when I get weak? If you are yes to everything, when I get weak, it's going to be a no for me. Because you can't pray. What good is it going to be if we both on our knees crying? See, there are moments, brothers and sisters, when you have to realize you got to be grown by yourself. You can't wait for somebody to come and encourage you. If I had waited for the people that said they loved me to encourage me, I never would have got here. I'd have stopped living years ago. If I waited to be appreciated by people that never anticipated what I was going to gravitate to, I never would have been here. See, I love the people that left me because here, and not everybody's your friend either. Y'all stop that friendships crap that y'all keep talking about, because there were some people that used to be on my page. Bishop, and here's the thing. It's better to not to make a vow than to make one and break it. I'll never leave you, Bishop. You're going to be my friend, blah, 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 blah. See, y'all don't get Facebook confused with real friendship. All right? It's still social media. And some of y'all not social. If I'm your friend and I say something you don't like, that doesn't mean we're not friends anymore. You just don't like what I say. But to those and for those that stop speaking, stop communicating, my thing is simply this. Once you stop communicating with me because you don't like what I say or you don't like what's on I post on my page, then don't come back. Now, if I send you a friend request, and very seldom do I do it, but if I send you a friend request, it's usually because there's something that I see about you in your spirit that I'm willing to help you with. But I'm not for everybody. I'm really not. I'm not for everybody. And guess what? You're not either. There are some people that you need to leave to their own devices before they devour you. You can't help some people. Why? Because they feel like you're jealous. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you that ignorant that you honestly think that you have something that I'm jealous of? I have my own anointing. I don't need yours. Don't you know the church would commit spiritual suicide if they didn't have somebody bragging on them? Do you not realize how miserable church folks are without getting attention from the enemy? Do you not imagine that? Why do you think they talk about you when you show up to church? Well, you haven't been to church in a long time. Well, you ain't called me in a long time either. And then they'll shut up when they start talking, well, we haven't seen you. Well, you know, you haven't called me. You haven't checked on me. You don't know what. The only way you'd know I was dead is somebody put it on Facebook because you don't call. And so, brothers and sisters, not everybody's my friend. There's a whole lot of people that I know, that I grew up with, that I've been around most of my life, that I don't fool with and they don't fool with me. Why? Because we never run in the same circles. We don't deal with people. And can I tell you again, when you are married to a spouse that's jealous of you, whether it's male or female, when somebody is jealous of you and you're not allowed to have friends, I thank God that a spouse is not my parent. See, some of y'all are used to being controlled. I'm not one that is. You're used to being controlled by somebody telling you what you can and can't do, how you should feel and how you shouldn't, what you can wear and what you can't. And I understand that to a certain extent. But I need you to understand that my wife is not my mama. My girlfriend is not my mama. My boyfriend is not my daddy. You need to understand your place and the role that you play. You don't tell. See, God says to leave your mother and father and cling to that one. You can't cling to nobody that ain't clinging to you. If somebody going to raise their voice to me, it better be because I'm hard of hearing. Yeah, that's right. You ain't gonna talk down to me just because you 6'4" and I'm 5'11", or I'm 4'11". I gotta look at you. No. The only reason you need to look down on me is because I'm on my knees praying for you. Because brothers, I stand 6'2". I promise you, you're not going to. You're going to talk to me, not at me. I'm that brother. Oh yeah. See, I don't do what the church folk want me to do. I don't do what the pastor. Well, you go. No. Before you start barking, let me put that leash on you right now. Oh, no, you're not. 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 Understand this is my life. When you stop giving explanations about your life, you can start to live it. See, some of y'all ain't never going to go nowhere. I know people that's going to be stuck in Kentucky with, number one, because your country. You're never going to leave anywhere. You can't go anywhere. You don't want to go anywhere because you're used to having nothing. And so guess what? That's what you're going to have. That's exactly what you're selling for, is nothing. That's the reason why you married nothing. You stood up with nothing. Nothing has led you to nothing. And so you're in the spirit of nothingness. You enjoy nothing. You don't have a great life. You've lost more than you've gained. And you get mad at anybody that challenges. Well, why don't you do something different? Why? Because I don't want to. I like being here. I like not being happy. Or if you like it, then I love it. But baby, don't get mad at me because I'm going where I want to go. If I want to cruise, I'm going to cruise. If I want to take a trip, I'm going to take a trip. Why? Because I love life. Not everybody that has a life loves it. You can't even enjoy your own life because you don't like it. That's bad when you don't like your own life. You just live, but you don't like your own life. You're miserable in your own life. And yet to everybody else, you wearing a smile and I just got the greatest lifestyle. No, you don't. You lying to yourself. You wake up mad. You go to bed mad. You turn over mad. You go to the bathroom mad. You wipe your behind mad. It's a wonder you still living it all. You so mad about your own life that you don't even realize it ain't life. Life is not life in you because you don't even like you. And so you married just because you didn't like yourself. You married hoping that somebody else would. You're dating because you hope somebody else likes you because you don't like you. Well, you know what? That's the wrong reason to fall in lust. That's the wrong thing to do. Baby, I don't fall in love, I walk in it. You done fell down and you can't get up. You can't get up because you can't get out. You're stuck and you like it, then you stay there. See, I'm okay with you being mad. I'm all right with you being mad because you miserable mad. You're miserable mad. You're mad as not because of me. Now, a lot of times I'm used as a scapegoat. You're used as a scapegoat too? Yeah, I know what you mean. You're used as a scapegoat because they're mad at you because you won't include them. And they want you to be mad too. Why do I want to be included in your misery? That's your mess, not mine. Your stupidity is not mine. People hate you the most, let me tell you, when your stability challenges their stupidity. I'm stable. I'm going to stand. Even if I have to stand by myself, I'm going to stand because I'm that solid. I can say what I feel. Even when the crowd leaves me, and I've learned that if nobody ever wants me, if nobody ever wants to be around me, if nobody sees me, God does. So the less people I have around me, the less I have to worry about the hell rising up in me. So that's why I'm just checking on y'all to remind you, who said you needed their recommendation? Who said you needed their help, period? Because I learned from the church, you don't need their help. You don't want their help because their help comes with a price tag. The church does transactions because they don't want to transition. Yeah. I'm not going to keep going to a place that's causing me problems. That's including the church. That's including your building. That's including your attitude. Because you went to school, you have an education, you have money, you have the big houses, you have the wealth, you have this, you have that. What makes you think, and you're struggling to hold on to it? Well, you're not in our society, so we can't socialize. Baby, I don't want to socialize with you. Y'all just rich trash. That's it. You're rich. You live in a gated, trashy community because more drugs circulate through rich communities than it does with poor people. And so, you know, it doesn't matter to me. You know who has the most problems? You think I'm kidding. People who have more issues because they have more stuff to deal with. They're so worried about keeping up their image that they don't realize they become idiots. They're more worried about holding on to their money instead of realizing that when they die, they can't take it with them. They have the big houses, but they have the out of town trips. The husbands goes on out of town trips a lot. There's a whole lot of people tripping than they are praying. So you know what? Y'all can have all that superficial crap. Y'all have all that. But don't try to come and correct me when you're still corrupted. And I love how people try to correct me and they try to say, well, Bishop, you're wrong, and Bishop this and Bishop that, simply because I don't follow their traditions. I don't. But now, if you want a friend that's going to be down to earth, Now I'm saved, y'all. I am saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost. And I'm not. I don't mistreat people, but I don't tolerate a whole lot of mess either. Now I understand we struggle with certain things and we do certain things that's not pleasing in His sight. But that's kind of stupid to stay around somebody that can't stand you. Satan don't like you. He just tricked you. Satan knows how to dress well. Satan will teach you how to obtain wealth, but he'll never show you how to obtain spiritual health. The Bible says, what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose your soul? You didn't gain nothing by marrying that fool. You didn't gain nothing by dating that fool. What you did, you actually are detained by the devil. That's what you are. You're detained by the devil. And you've been indicted by demons, and you need deliverance from God. You need God to deliver you right now, because guess what? You're never going to get to your destiny by dealing with dummies. You're not. You're mad because people make you think. You don't want to think. You don't like to think. Well, I'm constantly thinking, because I'm looking at your post. I'm looking at your life. If you got to parade yourself half naked on Facebook to get attention, that means you really have low self-esteem, because you ain't got nothing I haven't seen before. I've seen breasts, I've seen butts, I've seen it all, baby. That don't impress me at all. Matter of fact, you couldn't even be connected to me like that, doing some crap like that, because I'd have done put you in check. But that's the reason why why would I have anybody that's going to claim to be or want to be in a relationship parading themselves on Facebook like that? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Not going to do that. That's not cool with me. If you don't respect yourself, you're sure not going to respect me. So you really can't get mad at people who don't respect you when you don't respect yourself. That's why certain men are attracted to you, because, again, a dog likes a dog. You don't want decency. You just want a date. You don't want decency. And so what's funny is you would rather stay in the spirit of entrapment than to walk with somebody that has the spirit of empowerment. That's why you keep saying no. That's why you keep fighting. You don't want anybody that can honestly help you get delivered from what you're used to, because it's common for you. It's natural for you not to have anything, and that's what you're comfortable with. So before you try to get mad at me, before you try to say that I'm wrong, before you stop listening or turn yourself off, again, ask yourself, am I telling the truth or am I lying? Hey, Sister Julia, how you doing, darling? Hey, Sister Lucille, how you doing, cuz? Am I lying? Anytime that I say something that ain't true, please correct me. But the truth is, and this is, and we haven't even got to Sunday morning service yet, because I got a good message for you today. But I just wanted to talk to you because I just wanted to check on you. Because when I say I'm your friend, I'm your friend. And my friendship doesn't come with stipulations. I'm never going to tell you, well, I'm with you as long as you do right. And you know why I'm not going to say that? Because I don't always do right myself. Oh, okay. I need you to understand what true friendship is. Yes, I know you cuss. Yes, I know you smoke. Yes, I know you drink. Yes, I know you still sexing. I know all of that. But I also remember when Jesus said, I can't criticize you because I was once just like you. And the same patience he has with me, I've got to have with my friends. So if we're brothers and sisters, how can I help you if I don't understand you? I'll never understand you if I've never experienced what it is that I need to understand. It's common sense. The things that we criticize now, we've all done them. You can't talk about sex like you ain't never had it. You can't talk about, see, there's some of y'all that are still married and you still having thoughts about other people. Why? Because you're not happy in your own. You're not sanctity in your own. The own sanctity of your home is not secure, and you're trying to hide the fact you're not mad at just yourself. You mad because the person you with is not with you, and you know it. But you just can't handle the fact of being by yourself. You can't handle separation because you don't want the church to talk about you and you don't want other people to talk about you. So you're staying in unstable situations. I'll be dog if I'm going to die just because I don't want nobody to know that I need deliverance. You picked the wrong one. And won't nobody tell you, I will. You picked the wrong one. You picked. You didn't pray. You picked. And because you picked a problem. They can't pray for you. They don't pray for you. They don't even go to church with you. They're a problem for you, but you keep on smoothing it over. It's still a problem, baby. It's just a problem with a suit on. That's all. It's a problem with a dress on. It's a problem that knows how to make money. But a lot of what they're sharing, they're not sharing anything with you. You're still carrying the weights. And we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about that at 11 o'clock service today. So I hope you all come back. But it's time for you to be happy and stop living hell and calling it happiness. Stop questioning everything because everything is not about you. See, sometimes, brothers and sisters, you say an insecure person, everything you say, they make it about them. They take it out of content. Well, you must be talking about me. Baby, if I was talking about you, I'd have said your name. Because one thing for certain and two things for sure. I'm going to say what needs to be said. And so I want all of you all. Bishop is your friend. You hear me? Bishop is your friend. It's not up to me to put you in heaven. It's not up to me to put you in hell. It's up to me to lead you to Christ so he can do the changing. I'm just trying to catch some fish. And I don't like every kind of fish. But I'm your friend. I'm not here to hurt you, not here to judge you, not here to criticize you. But as your friend, and if you my friend, we should be able to talk. And if you my friend, I need to know what's going on with you. Stop telling me you're my friend if you don't stop talking to me. Stop telling me you're my friend if you keep in secret. Stop telling me if you can't email me, and my phone number's right on my page. So ain't none of y'all got no excuse to say, well, I didn't have nobody to talk to. You a lie. Yes, you did. You just didn't want to talk to me because you don't want to hear what I'm going to say. I'm going to tell you the truth because I'm your friend. I love you enough to try to keep you out of hell. I'm not going to try to spare your feelings and let you die and go to hell. I'm not going to do that. But I do love you. When I say I love you, I love you. I don't have to know you to love you because I've never shook hands with Jesus. But I can shake hands with you. And if Jesus loved me, and the Bible tells us, how can we love somebody we've never seen and hate our brothers who we see every day? Either you want to be consoled or you're going to enjoy being controlled. If your man controls you and you like it, baby, I love it. Don't come to me crying about it. If your woman controls you and you henpecked, then you stay there. I'm not that man. I'm not that man. I don't deal with dummies. I don't deal with people that won't admit that they are their own problems. So if you satisfied in your unstable situation, then you stay there. But when you get grown, let me know. All right. God bless you. God keep you. I will see you all at 11 o'clock. You all be blessed.